Our platinum sponsors for this evening are the Claro Group, who I know we have a contingency from all these companies here. Can I please have you guys stand up here? We have 8 of them from the Claro Group. Where are they at? There they are. They have been with us every single year for years and years. They are the most generous company we have ever, we would not be where we are today without them. So thank you, Claro Group. Siemens, I know we have a gentleman from Siemens. Where's Lance at? Thank you very much, Lance. Siemens is Lance flew in as well for the beer, I believe, from Pennsylvania. Step 2, where we at? Miles, Mommy, and Daddy over there, and Jerry's over there, and Donna. Thank you very much from Step 2. We'll talk about them later as well, but we just got recently acquainted with them. They've been incredible. And then Volkswagen, they couldn't be here tonight, but we'll learn a little bit more our connection with Volkswagen coming up. But they've been a platinum sponsor as well. And then St. Jude Medical, I believe we have 2 representatives from there tonight. So thank you very much, Step 2 Medical. You are our gold sponsors for tonight.
Thank you all for being here. I can't believe it's been 7 years. I can't believe Joshua just graduated kindergarten. And his teacher called him Mr. Eyelashes. So I just wanted to thank you. After Joshua's 3rd open heart surgery, doctors told us his procedure would slow down within 10 years. His last heart surgery was 4 years ago. I need medicine and science to catch up to support him and all children like him, and it's been everybody's effort and everybody's help and everybody's compassion and everybody's creativity, and we couldn't do it without you. And I just can't thank you enough. Your being here really means everything to us, and we are changing the future of medicine into heart defects. As Brian said, Dr. Wald has assembled the dream team of a medical advisory board where doctors can review a grant and say, this is going to be bench science. This is going to be something that will make it to clinical trials. We are going to be the impetus for something grand. And somebody raised money for research for us, and my little boy was given a chance to live. And I can just dream from what 5 years from now will be because of your help for all children like my little love. And one day he'll be here on the podium able to say it was because of your kindness and your compassion and your heart and your support and your being here that helped to save his life and countless tiny hearts. And I can't thank you enough. I hope you all have fun tonight.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the 7th annual Saving Tiny Hearts Gala. Thank you so much for being here. And first, an incredible hand for Brian and Francie for starting this whole thing and raising almost $1 million, and we will reach $1 million tonight. So again, a big thank you to them and everything they do every day to make this a reality for all of us. Our honored guest of the night, as Brian said, unfortunately is not here. You may be familiar with the young guy. His name is Max Page. I've had the pleasure to meet the family. They live in San Clemente, California, and you all saw the Volkswagen commercial in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. We're going to play it right now to remind you, but he's just this incredible kid, and we wanted to have him here. Luckily, after his surgery, he's doing really well, but just watch this about Mr. Max Page.
Give yourself to the dark side. Indeed, you are powerful. I have you now. It is pointless to resist myself. If you only knew the power of the dark side. You would not have come back. You are not a Jedi yet. Don't make me destroy you. He's all yours, Bunker Hunter.
Hey, Saving Tiny Hearts. It's Max Page, recovering in San Clemente. And do you know something? When you donate money, you think you're donating something else, like, you know, something cool or something. But you're not. You're donating love and you're donating life. And people all across the world are praying for me, and I'm praying for you guys. You guys are just the best thing. You guys help so many people. I just thank you so much.
I'd just like to say on behalf of my family, Jesse White, Secretary of State, and Susan, who is my miracle child, thank you so much for having us. My father couldn't be here today, but I just want you to know that one thing for sure, his life's work has been what he can do for another person. One of the main things that he has made his life's mission, you know about the Jesse White tumblers, but he also has been responsible for making Illinois one of the largest registers of organ and tissue donors. And years ago, we had a situation where my uncle died, and they asked us to donate his organs, and we said, no, don't touch him. And then, lo and behold, years later, I had an aunt that needed a kidney transplant, and someone was kind enough to donate their organs for her. And as life goes on, you never know what will befall any of us. And years later, when I had Susan, she was born with tetralogy de Fallot. And the wonderful people at Children's Memorial Hospital, I can't thank them enough. I love them from the desk clerk all the way to the doctors. Thank them so much for the miracles that they perform each and every day. And it's organizations like Saving Tiny Hearts that we cannot do without, all the money that is raised to save our children, and not only while they're babies, but even when they become young adults. And I'd like to say thank you so much on behalf of Secretary of State and myself. Thank you.
Now, you're probably wondering, hey, where does the money go that we raise every year? And we want to give you a glimpse at what has happened, what we've done just in this past year here at Saving Tiny Hearts. So watch this video here.
Hi, I'm Chris Calderon. I'm a cardiac surgeon in the Hospital for Sick Children, and I'm grateful to the Saving Tiny Hearts Society for funding the research project that we have going here. We're looking at pulmonary vein stenosis, which is one of the greatest unsolved problems in congenital heart surgery. Patients with pulmonary vein stenosis often have progressive disease, which can lead to fatality. We have some great insights into how to treat this disease, and we're learning a lot about it, and this is all due to the generous funding from the Saving Tiny Hearts Society. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Daniel Licht, and I'm a child neurologist at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I'm one of the principal investigators on the grant that was funded this year by the Saving Tiny Hearts Society. I've been using brain MRI to study the impact of severe congenital heart defects on brain development and how this informs us about the development of brain injury that is so common both before and after infant heart surgery. But up to now, it has been very hard to compare the results from different centers because of a lack of a common vocabulary to describe the injury that we see. Aided with funding from the Saving Tiny Hearts Society, we have formed a multinational consortium composed of investigators from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Germany, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and several centers in the United States. As the principal investigator, I speak for the entire consortium of investigators in thanking the Saving Tiny Hearts Society for the opportunity to proceed with this ambitious project. Thank you very much.
Dr. Richard Jonas. I'm the Chief of Cardiac Surgery at Children's National Medical Center, and I want to thank the Saving Tiny Hearts group, where Dr. D'Onofrio is looking very closely at our cardiac surgery patients to make sure that we optimize the developmental potential of kids with heart disease.
Hello, I'm Dr. Marriott Downtown and I work at Children's National Medical Center. We are very grateful to you and all you've done for us to support our research protocols. It is our goal to better understand the brain in babies who are born with congenital heart disease.
Hi, my name is Peter Muller. I'm the director of the Davis Heart and Lung Research Institute here at Ohio State University. On behalf of all of us in the lab, I'd like to thank the Saving Tiny Heart Society for their support of our research.
This is Steve Eisen right here, everybody. He's working the camera. He puts together all these videos that we have, and he videotapes every Saving Tiny Hearts event. So one of the unspoken heroes. Say a big thanks to Steve right there. Yes, Steve. Now it's time to share my story. Well, actually, it's my daughter's story. Her name is Barbara Ann.
For more than 5 years, Tom Riles has been part of our family at the show, entertaining the audience before Ellen takes the stage. And no one was more excited than Tom when he told us his wife, Lucy, was pregnant with their first child. But 18 weeks into the pregnancy, Tom and Lucy were given some devastating news. Their baby had a very serious heart defect, one that she may not survive. Barbara arrived on February 26th, and after a brief moment with Tom and Lucy, she was whisked away by a team of doctors, where it was determined that she would need open heart surgery to save her life. The next few days were touch and go, filled with tense moments and sleepless nights, including the baby needing emergency CPR. Through all of this, Tom and Lucy remained positive, and little by little, their baby started to improve. 10 days after her surgery, they brought Barbara home. Now, at 3 months old, her heart is stronger than ever, and she's doing all the things a beautiful baby should do.
From the Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio, the one and only Lauren Wold, everybody. Here he is.
And what we are is we're right now 13 basic cardiovascular scientists, we're cardiologists, we're cardiovascular surgeons, and we're here really to help the kids. And I know that sometimes it tends to sound cliche, but that's why we're here. This is a completely voluntary board. Everyone who is on the board pays for all their own travel to meetings, to come to the gala, etc. We're completely voluntary. And one thing that still amazes me to this day, and something that we're very proud of, is 95 cents of every dollar you donate goes directly to those projects that were on the screen. And I can tell you that a lot of other organizations, it's not that high. So we're making a direct impact, and that's why we're all in this. The other thing that I can share with you is every person that we've asked to join the medical advisory board, they've said absolutely. We've never had someone turn us down, and we're just starting. This is such an exciting time for research and exciting time for research in congenital heart disease, which is very underfunded. Most of us on the medical advisory board sit on the American Heart Study sections and National Institute of Health, and we're not funding congenital heart disease research at rates that we need to be.
On Easter Sunday, 2009, I learned I was pregnant, and of course my entire life changed right away. And then a few months later, I found out that a little girl was on the way. I was really lucky. I had an awesome pregnancy. We passed every test, and everything went great. And then, on November 30, 2009, my life changed again when Cora came. She weighed almost 9 pounds. And as you can see from her picture, this was her newborn picture, she was the picture of good health, or so we thought. We took her home and we cuddled for the next 3 days. We just loved her so much. You can see the love in our next picture in the nursery we created for her. That's Cora's nursery that we're so proud of. But then, one early morning, this is where the story gets kind of tough. My husband brought Cora to me because she was hungry. So I set up her feeding area and began to feed her. And my husband went to take a shower. He came back and I was still feeding her. Everything was going great. He kissed me on the top of my head. He stroked Cora's cheek, and he told me that he loved us both. I looked up to tell him that I loved him too. He sat down, and then I looked back down. I was covered in blood, and Cora wasn't breathing. We rushed to the emergency room as quick as we could. We got her there in under 5 minutes. We lived in a little town at the time. It was too late. Cora was gone. Cora was dead. We had no clue what happened to her. As you saw, she was the picture of good health. To say we were in shock is a huge understatement. But 2 days later, the coroner called with a preliminary cause of death. She said that Cora had something called a congenital heart defect. And my first response was to be relieved that we had an answer of what happened to my loved and perfectly healthy newborn. But we didn't even know what that was. We looked it up in a dictionary that we pulled from the bookshelf, and of course that was no help. So over the coming days and weeks, I did a lot of research into congenital heart defects. I wanted to know what happened to her. Most of all, I wanted to know what I could do to make sure that it never happened to another baby again. And that's when I found a simple screening called pulse oximetry screening for newborns. It's non-invasive, it's cheap, it's really easy. And at that point, it was already backed by several large population studies. Within a month, the first baby was screened in Cora's honor, the first of many. I worked to get legislation introduced in my home state, Indiana. I'm really proud to say that Cora's law went into effect on January 1, 2012, and now every baby is screened for congenital heart disease. I'm not stopping with Indiana, though. There are 50 states, and every single baby needs screened for the most common birth defect. Luckily, West Virginia, Connecticut, Pennsylvania have followed, thanks to the work of some amazing parent advocates that have helped to do the same as in Indiana, and some other states, too. And now, hardly a day goes by that I don't hear of a couple babies that have been screened just for Cora. And I'm always sad and I'm happy at the same time because hardly a week goes by that I don't hear of a baby's life who is saved because of Cora. I'm sad that they're in this community, but I'm happy that they aren't going to have the same ending that we did. This spring, I actually got to hold one of the first babies in Indiana that was saved by the screening law. This is me with baby Gabriel right here. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really proud of what Cora has led me to do. I'm just a mom. There's nothing special about me besides being a mom, and all moms would do the same thing for their child if you were in my shoes too. But that's really a drop in the bucket to my ultimate goal, my ultimate dream. My dream is for no other mother to hear the phrase congenital heart defect from the coroner again. That shouldn't be happening. And for that to really become a reality, screening is nice, and wonderful. The preventive measures are great, but we need research. We need to find out why these defects happen. We need to stop them from happening. And so in many ways, this will be the most important speech I'll ever give in my entire life, because I was thinking about it. And this could lead to the donation that funds the research study, that finds a way to prevent congenital heart disease, and to make sure that what happened to me, what happened to Cora, never happens again. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know I don't know most of you, but I want to take a moment to thank you from my grieving mama's heart, for Cora, for all the babies born with congenital heart disease, for the future of all babies everywhere. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for donating. And thank you for saving other babies the nightmare ending that my baby went through. Your donations can do that. We're going to have to keep working hard. We'll probably have to have several more of these galas, but one year it'll happen. I know it will. And no other mother will have to say goodbye to her baby because of a broken heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you.
Up next, I want to introduce an incredible musician. He's meant so much to the Saving Tiny Hearts family for a bunch of years now. He's a Grammy-nominated pianist, and he was the #1 New Age album of 2001, nominated for the #1 New Age album of 2001 at the Billboard Music Awards. And he is a transplant survivor himself, the one, the only, the very talented, and even better guy. Please welcome Paul Cardell, everybody.
Well, I lost quite a few things, people. I'm not too happy about that. All my exes. Well, it's a thrill for me to be here. This is the 3rd year I've been able to join this family to save tiny hearts. Those of you that heard me speak nearly 3 years ago, I talked a little bit about receiving a heart transplant. I think I'm a professional patient. And my wife still tells me I need to learn it, but I am a professional patient because I've been dealing with congenital heart disease my whole life. I was born essentially with half a heart in '73. In '86, I had major bypass surgery. '87, I had more. They cut me open many times. I'm pretty much an open book. But what happened after getting married to somebody who was willing to take on not only a guy with half a heart, but a musician, which meant pretty much I would have no insurance. She went to work to become a nurse and has been the greatest blessing in my life. We have one little girl, Eden, who's been running around with Joshua and Colin and Kathleen. She's the only one in that group whose picture on her shirt is of her dad, me. And, I had my heart transplant 3 years ago. And my wife wanted to be here, but she had a baby 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm going to play a tune I wrote. It's an interesting world to be in, the other side of the doctors. They send us home. They do amazing work and they send us home. And then I meet so many parents and so many people that have challenges. It seems like if you have one concern about something, it opens Pandora's box. I've been to too many funerals. I don't like going to funerals. People ask me to come. My music, the way it is, has been very healing for parents. And, Brian Paul and I, we joked, your music is, I don't know, the exit soundtrack to life, which is not something I wanted. I just wanted my music to comfort. I want to share with you something I wrote. I'd been waiting for a new heart for 384 days. I didn't know if I was going to live. My wife didn't know if I was going to live. My little girl, she just knew her dad was sick, and ever since she was born, I was on oxygen. Let me share with you what I wrote as I laid in a hospital room, wondering if I would survive. I wrote this on a blog. I called it The Thick Fog of Adversity. As I sit in my hospital room, I was in a children's hospital room because of my defect. We don't have enough adult hospitals right now that have much of a clue about congenital heart disease. We're starting to save these kids. But my concern, as I almost turned 40 and see so many adults with CHD pass away, we need to be prepared for the onslaught of children that are surviving. Anyways, I wrote as I laid waiting for a heart. As I sit in my hospital room looking out my window, I live in Salt Lake City, I see smog hovering over the Salt Lake Valley like a thick plague. Each year the wind brings a cloud of smoke from the summer fires. Although it looks miserable, I know that people down there underneath the smog are going on with their lives, probably not even thinking about it. Eventually the rain will come. The smog will fade, and once more our Salt Lake Valley will be pristine and gorgeous, and the snow will be seen as the sunlight dances off of it. Our lives are full of these moments when the thick fog of adversity surrounds us, yet somehow we adapt. We plow ahead and move forward with our lives the best we can. We choose how we are going to handle the situation. We have within each of us the ability to transform and heal our wounds and make them wisdom. Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. And from Duke Ellington, my man, a problem is a chance for you to do your best. Most of us, and this applies now, are in the midst of hard adversity. As one who has struggled with a lot of physical challenges, a lot of grief, as I've seen people pass away from this, and as I've continued to survive, I humbly assure you that it gets better. And that every moment, every minute of every hour of every day is so precious. And the most important thing we have are the people in our lives. And what we choose to do with our time. Because if I were to pass out an envelope right now that had the expiration date to your birth certificate, would you want to open it? That is the reality here. Life is amazing, and I love it, and I'm so grateful I have survived congenital heart disease. I wouldn't trade my life for anything. It's made me who I am. As I play this piece of music, this is to all the children, the parents, and those living, here's my daughter Eden and Josh, living with congenital heart disease.
congenital heart disease is a heart abnormality usually present at birth, and most often it requires surgery and a lifetime of medical care.
In an open heart surgery, they leave the chest open at first, and there's a clear plastic bandage that covers the chest. And we were new parents. We had been at the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows. And after this surgery, looking over your child with an open chest and his heart beating with a mix of emotions, saying, thank God this child is alive. Thank God for the medical miracle and the surgeon's hands that could do this, but also the mix of fright and horror, and is this heart going to stop? And the feeling of helplessness about being a parent watching your son go through this. There are many parents in this room who've been through that, and Saving Tiny Hearts is about helping other parents to avoid going through that.
Our daughter Grace has two rare genetic conditions, and that resulted in a couple of heart defects, which were repaired when she was 4 months old. And she was never supposed to live past 1 year of life, and she just turned 6.
Charles Tillman of Chicago Bears. I'd like to first off take this time to say thank you for considering Saving Tiny Heart Society for your charity job. But not only that, I'd like to commend you for your efforts in supporting a good cause. This cause is also near and dear to me as well. My daughter Tiana received a heart transplant back in 2008, and congenital heart disease is the #1 birth defect in America, and it affects over 40,000 kids a year.
Research for the hands that heal, the tiny hearts that change our lives for the very best. Salute.